Recently, I was watching an interview with NewJeans from Sirius XM, and I heard Hanni say this.
But we're actually speaking English quite a lot.
Yeah.
Very naturally, like it just comes out.
Which got me curious. How often does NewJeans actually speak English? And in what sort of scenarios does each member use it? To find out, I collected data from over 3.5 hours of their online zine show, which, if you're unfamiliar, has them doing a variety of games and challenges together. Since here they get so invested in the games and really only interact with each other, it gives us a good view into how they naturally speak. The 5 episodes I used as samples were all from this year: New Year's Park, Valentine's Day, the debate episode, the escape room, and the picnic episode. For all 5, I recorded data on each member and counted how many times they made a code switch into English. But first, we need to define what counts as a code switch. If you're not familiar, a code switch is when someone switches languages mid-conversation. Since Korean was by and large the main language they used, I only recorded switches into English. Also, if a member replies in English to someone already speaking English,
Who wants some kitto-gimbap? Me, please.
I didn't count that, since we're more interested in what makes members switch on their own. You see, whenever a member code switches, it isn't uncommon for other members to start speaking English too.
Like I'll throw it and then the girls will just catch it and then they'll reply back in English and then it becomes like a tiki-taka type of situation.
You'll be seeing quite a bit of that in this video, but it won't be the focus of our investigation. In addition, English words or phrases that are commonly used in Korean won't count towards the total. For example, the word
okay
does not count as a code switch, since they use it in Korean. Also, exclamations like wow or oh my god are used commonly by a lot of idols, at least one I've seen, so I didn't count them. Now that we've got the rules out of the way, let's take a look at the raw data. Over the 3.5 hours, there were 217 code switches to English that I could identify. That's a little over 1 code switch per minute. Now, here's the distribution for the members. We'll be going through them one by one, so make your guesses now as to who's who. If you're anything like me, you might be surprised. Let's start with the member who switched to English just 6 times, Haerin. First, here's some context. While Haerin seems to be the least confident in English, she understands a lot. For example, we can see her replying to English sentences in Korean.
In movies, there's bird type. 맞네요.
And also copying other members' English.
+2, please. +2. Yeah, the happy are nice. Happy are nice. Yes. Yes. It's easy. It's easy.
It's kind of adorable. So while she knows a lot, she's just less likely to start and engage a conversation in English. And she's an introvert, so she doesn't speak as much as the others anyways. Well then, when did these 6 instances happen? Well, throughout the New Year's Park episode, the members choose to occasionally use English words for numbers.
+5. +5?
So following this pattern, Haerin used
+2. +2.
Yeah, not too crazy. But this does show that when an English pattern like this has been introduced, she'll stick to it. It's a soft code switch, but a code switch nonetheless. The last 4 instances were all from the escape room episode. The first instance is her answering the call for X-Men.
X-Men. X-Men. I'm here.
Then there's looking for flour.
Where's 밀가루?
Then finding the flour.
Found it. 굽자.
And finally, finding water.
물. Found it. 물. Yeah.
She's good at finding, I guess. I honestly think Haerin's infrequent code switching is really interesting. The way she's able to understand English and just reply in Korean is super impressive to me. It makes for a cool dynamic. If I had to give her style a name, I'd call it listen and respond. In the number 4 spot with 28 code switches is Hyein. On the surface, it makes sense why she's number 4. From what we know, she has less experience speaking English than the top 3. What surprised me though was how Hyein uses English. It's, well,
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Wow, you really look like elephant.
It's my turn.
Okay. Inner peace. Sweet Danielle.
It's gonna be fun game.
Fun game.
some of these one-liners really caught me off guard. She chooses the most charming sentences when you would least expect them. It's like she deliberately enjoys dropping these English bombs for fun. I think she just likes speaking English for fun. Maybe she embraces it as a way to hype things up. I mean, in one of the 5 episodes I watched, she code switched more than one of the Aussie girls. She's just really good at it. Overall, I would describe her style as fun and spontaneous. Coming in third with 50 switches is Hanni. That's right, the top two are not the Aussies. While she banters with Danielle a lot, I noticed she wouldn't make the switch to English herself in too many instances. But when she did, it usually happened during, we'll say, emotional circumstances.
Yes! Science!
Hey!
Get your dirty hands off my chalk.
Don't let anyone else take you because you're mine, okay? Say it to me. Feel it for me.
Hey!
Hey.
Okay, and then...
An egg just can't come out of nowhere. I'm just saying.
No.
Listen to my dinosaur talk.
She said herself she's competitive, and it's true. When things get heated, the Aussie comes out. Now, of course this isn't the case every time she speaks English, but it is something that happened more with her than the others. By the way, if you're watching this, Hanni, just know we love it. Like, it's super funny. Another chunk of code switches from her were just individual words that she either forgot or didn't know in Korean.
Evolution대로?
So it begs the question, why is she only third if she grew up speaking English? Well, if I had to take a guess, it might be because of the way she learned Korean. When you try to learn a language, it's typical to immerse yourself in it and try to only speak it. Doubly so if you're the trainee of a company like Hyein. So it's not crazy to think that that habit might still linger around a bit. But then again, she might just not see a reason to use English. That too. Either way, let's describe her style as passionate. In second, with 62 code switches, is Minji, the language learning queen. She was actually super close to first place the entire time I was counting. It's not that surprising since she's lived in the US and Canada before, but the unusual thing is, out of all the members, she switched in the largest variety of situations by a good amount. Like she'll do it when explaining rules,
약간 에러 같은 화살을
when calling out people,
That's cheating.
counting,
2 for each.
talking to herself,
Long time no
listing things,
밀가루, water, kimchi.
and in all sorts of situations.
I trust you guys. And trust you guys too.
As to why, well, in the same interview that inspired this video, she answers a very interesting question. If she wasn't an idol, what would she study in college?
I think another second language. Because when I was young, I was quite interesting about like it's still same meaning but sounds different. So if I didn't debut as a NewJeans, I was gonna choose languages.
She's so good at it though.
So there you have it. Minji loves languages, and it comes through with how often she uses English. Maybe it's like a hobby for her. I mean, she's even good enough at Japanese that people are saying she's like a native speaker.
NewJeans も素敵な素顔をお見せするために頑張りますので応援よろしくお願いします。
Seeing as how she uses it in so many situations, I would describe Minji's style as well-rounded. Which brings us to the #1 code switcher. With a whopping 71 switches, Danny! In so many instances, Danielle swapped between Korean and English like it was nothing. A ton of her code switches come from when she's feeling happy or playful.
Hello! Follow the grey brick road.
Congratulations!
NewJeans says, oh, I did that. I love poems. Okay. Let's go party! Let's go!
Her excitement is infectious. Then some other code switches came when she was describing something.
그리고, and then I wrote mysterious.
약간 좀
She also used both languages in the same sentence a lot. For example,
지금 한이 언니 donating. My brain is becoming 말랑말랑.
it's plain to see this is second nature for her. Probably because she's the only member to grow up English-Korean bilingual. She'll really switch to English with anyone at any time.
We should start writing our rebuttals.
She does code switching in a very natural way. All in all, I would describe her style as playful and positive. And that's the data. So what are the takeaways? Well, NewJeans really are naturals at English. All of them are proficient to a certain extent, but tend to use it more frequently in different situations. It's pretty rare to see an entire group of English bilingual K-pop idols, so this investigation was a really fun look for me into how code switching manifests in that sort of unique environment. And I got an excuse to watch their show. Win-win. But I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if this data will be important to any linguists out there, but I do know one thing. They say bro. A lot.
That toe of yours is on the line, bro. Plus that, bro.
It's a movie, bro.
집캉스 bro.
집캉스.
And thank you, bros, for watching. If you want more K-pop vids like this, consider leaving a like and subscribing for future updates. I'll be seeing you guys around. Annyeong!
Get some fresh air, guys. We're here in the nature.
Get some fresh air.
We don't have to like, ooh, we have to do this, like, huh?